Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the National Scrabble Championship of the UK 2018, where we're getting very much into the money end of things. Currently, as I summarised at the end of the last game, we have 4 players at the top of the field, all on the same number of wins. So your national champion will be one of those 4 people. This game we will see the player in first place, currently Austin Shin, ahead on spread, obviously, of the player in third place, who is playing Elie Dangoor. And meanwhile, on the other table, we will have Ed Martin playing off against Jamie Jones. The winner of this game will play the winner of that game, and the winner of that game will be the national champion for 2018. Obviously, Austin's hopes still alive. The last time we saw these two pair up this morning, luck was very much on Elie's side. We will see how things go in this game. Austin has started with a very clunky rack, but it's a relatively straightforward decision to be made. Elie, in the meantime, has picked out middle and a blank. And we'll play middles and jogs, I imagine. There we go. Nothing too hard for either side to decide at this point. And Austin has picked out absolute crap. Not entirely true. Quackle decided to auto-complete Austin's rack with 3 Rs, which I assumed would be the case. Austin has an easy place to offload the queue. If he did so and picked out one of those 3 Rs I thought he had, he'd then have Warlords as a double-double. Unlikely that position will stay open after the next move there. It's a real hot spot on the board. Also one of the best scoring positions, so Elie probably will play through the Ds. Yeah. Nothing really to discuss there. QI, straightforward. Elie has picked out a nicely balanced rack. It doesn't have the floating C that he would need for façons. Faconnes. Has picked out, though, some Ns, so he does have the options of simple plays down the side, making QIN. Fon, perhaps, keeping ANES extremely strong. If he doesn't particularly want to open up the triple, then you have things under jog. Fano under jog. 25. Keeping ENS pretty strong. Probably stronger than Fon, because it doesn't open up the triple. And it scores a couple of points extra. Sim is suggesting perhaps that Fano making QIN is good, mainly because it sets up the S hook, which we know he has. Personally, I think Fano underneath jog is a slightly better play. Elie moving to, we'll play the first of the selection I suggested, Fon. Not a bad play by any means. Reasons I mentioned, I think Fano would be the play I would choose. Certainly seems to be the play that simulation would recommend as well. Not that simulation is everything, of course. Austin, having failed to pick out one of those odds for Warlords, is left. Try to keep the score ticking over. A neat play of also down the side of Fon. 34 would be worth having a look at, perhaps. Other options, still burning the S, pluralizing Shin, like Sawar, S-O-W-A-R, or maybe Salwar, S-A-L-W-A-R. Or maybe something such as Allo underneath Jog, A-L-O-W. Simply A-W. Yeah. I should say in all of the commentary that we're making here at the moment, the simulation or static sim is used after the initial comments. So when I do mention the static simulation, it's something that I've seen afterwards. Elie has very quickly offloaded IO, keeping Anis. It's a strong keep. Can't really argue that. Highest score available to him would probably be something like Fain, F-A-I-N-E, across the top right. He's put OI on the board, but he hasn't pressed his clock yet. A higher scoring option to offload another vowel, but the vowel would have been the E, would have been aid, A-I-D-E, making phone. Question for you, dear listener: does phone, F-O-N-E, take an S? Does phone, F-O-E-N, take an S? Answer is no. Only when you spell phone with an H does it take an S. So F-O-H-N and F-O-E-H-N both take S's. Miss out the H, miss off the S. They probably mean completely different things, but to Scrabble players it doesn't really matter. They all look the same. Elie has picked up a Genesis through the G of Jog. We may see that blocked though. Austin could be looking at things such as owl, O-W-L, making jaw and owl. There we go. 27, 91, putting him 22 behind, blocking a Genesis. So Elie here will be looking to play off some of his duplicates. It's always nice when your duplicates are E's and S's. A play such as maybe EAS down the side of Fon. You do run the risk of setting up the E or Y hook underneath it. Or playing E's, in fact, EASE. For 33 points, it'd give you a 50-point lead. would assume both players will know that owl takes an S on the front. At this point, the static sim has suggested, well, it's pointed out that the highest score available is for easies, down the position I was talking about at the side of Fon. But yeah, if you want to be burning S's left, right, and centre, feel free. But ease, EASE, or EAS, looking pretty sound. I think EASE, certainly with 9 unseen E's. He's played sane. It's not a bad play. Doesn't quite score as well, but the keep is reasonable as long as you pick out a couple of good constants to go with it. Austin doesn't have a 7, unfortunately, and I'm looking at what he's about to play. Okay, that's good. He's played Fraus fairly quickly. It's up there in the top choices, I think. Another option, if you don't want to use the S's, which you probably should actually to unduplicate them, but it's Fural, Fural. And Elie has one of those lovely racks that everyone hates. Doesn't make anything as a 7. Makes a few 8s, but you don't have the right floaters. Whereas Austin has drawn out Aldist as a double-double. That's assuming that it's still there, but Austin will certainly bonus in the next move. For those interested, Elie's rack would make Disagree, Gamesia, Gasolia, Peerages, Re-images, Greasy's obviously Higher Ridges, Jesneria, Grey Size with a C, Energies, have I said Energies? And Ugaries. I really should just think through this more sensibly. And Fegaries. So options here. The Owl does take a G on the front. So he could play something such as Age or Gay, GAE, and Owl. If you wanted to just play off a couple of vowels, play Aid or something underneath the QI to create a line for his bonus. In these kinds of situations, you should know pretty much instantaneously that you haven't got a bonus. That's the, I guess, part of the aspiration to be a top player. As I often say in interviews, most of my time is not spent trying to find the words, it's actually trying to decide which one to play. So if you find yourself sweating over racks like this for ages, trying to work out if there's a bonus or not, you probably should be doing a little bit more study. So Elie's quickly put down Gay, picked it up. Interesting. Um, quite sure why he would do that, uh, unless he wasn't sure of Gowl, maybe. It's an odd move. Anyway, back to Austin. And simultaneously Elie. So if Austin were to play Saluted now, pluralizing OE, he would block Elie's 2 places for his bonus. So Elie has Rokiest underneath the Gay that he's just played. He also has Rokiest making the Liar on the right hand side. It's unlikely that Austin is going to pluralize the OE. I think he's more likely to play pluralizing Owl if he does play across there as Saluted. Simply because it scores very slightly more, and you think you're frustrating the S hook on OE by playing Saluted and Owls regardless. You don't necessarily expect a bonus to come across from the left. Other bonuses for interest that Austin has include Talmuds with an M, a Dualist, and Tulades with an I. And sure enough, he's played Saluted, which leaves Elie to play Rokiest underneath GAE. Now, Elie should be putting this down instantly. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is a bad move. Oh boy. Okay, so Tories +1 is one of the highest probability sets you can have, and you should study in your very early days. There really is no reason to miss, and he's also given Austin an opportunity to play Beavery. And he's played it. No arguing with that. I'm afraid, without being too harsh, missing Rokius deserves to lose, and Beavery, I suspect, will ensure that that is what happens. Oh, it's a Sunday. I should be more charitable. Playing Rokiest isn't as bad as shooting someone. Great, and he's going to give Austin +5 for Beavery. Yeah, well played, Austin. But he was given the opportunity there. Okay. So after that rather shocking exchange, Elie finds himself with another bonus. He has rootlets or tutelers through the T of saluted. At the moment, that's all I can see. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Austin needing a C for Zecchini, which would be lovely, but he's not going to get. So Elie, who should be in the lead now, and Austin sitting with an unplayable bonus. Elie is 108 behind. He'll only be 40 behind if he plays rootlets or tutelers, though. We'd hope he'd play one of those. I think what we're likely to see is, again, he's putting his tiles into a very strange order, similar to what he did when he played Kid instead of Rokiist. Maybe he's just not looking at the T at the moment. I would hope you would see tutelers or rootlets. Here we go. He's putting roots, turning it round. And what's likely to happen if we see rootlets? Oh, okay, now he's got root. Looks like he's thinking of it. He's playing it by the look of it. He's sort of grunted as if to say, I'm playing this move. There we go. Yeah, rootlets, tutelers. Austin, having mentioned that he had Zecchini earlier on, he had a floating C, he has Zekins now, Zechins, which would be a great play onto the S. Austin still having to keep the scoring going in this one because the board is open. There are things going on every quadrant, and with only having a 38-point lead, anything could happen in the next half hour. Austin's playing around with various options here. Zekins is nice, purely because of the score. And it leaves the Z at the beginning, so you are taking out potential plays down to the left-hand quadrant. The risk is in playing Zekin, just setting up the I for an X play, or indeed 5-6 letter plays across onto the double word score with a medium letter B, M, or P as a random example, not looking at Elie's rack. Something shorter like Zinks wouldn't create any of those openings. Still scoring very heavily, 48. Putting him up onto 3-1. Hisens doesn't really do anything to control the board. Doesn't set up the X, but it does set up the middle scoring tiles still. Maybe Zekins. It's all very close. So Elie, in the meantime, looking at the first 6 tiles out of the bag, I thought he was drawing an immediate bonus, but the B has hampered that somewhat. Of course, he has had a big score now set up by Austin with the play of Hisens. to something as simple as batter. Would score 40. He might be looking at potentials of decent scores and playing off 4 tiles across the top of Beavery. Plays such as Barm, B-A-R-M, 36. Keeping Pet. It looks like he's playing Barp, Met, yeah. An option that's been thrown up subsequent to his play by Quackle suggests Bream, perhaps, down the side of Regent. So Austin needing a floating T for curative or an L for acervuli. With a 56-point lead. A great play here would be Cruive, C-R-U-I-V-E, onto the H of Hisns for 43 points. It would take out the position. Come on, and you're going to play it, aren't you? I can see you looking down in the bottom left. Boom. Anyway, it's a great play. Kills that position, takes out the G, frustrates plays through the E, scores a hell of a lot. Puts him almost 100 points clear out of Elie. Elie will be frustrated that the only 8 with that plus an S is mitogens and not something. I mean, Elie does have the opportunity. Here we go. So he would have seen mitogen, I would expect. 39. So that keeps him in the hunt. Turns over a lot of tiles. Frustrates the D. Okay, I don't know if you could hear that, ladies and gentlemen. Elie currently makes Austin 391, which is very generous of him. So Austin, just checking the scores there. Austin finds himself 60 points in the lead. 10 tiles unseen. Needing a floating T for Capitaine. But lots of options here for 40-point plays. I say lots. I can see one. So he's got plays underneath AB. Simple plays such as Yip, but he's opted for a sensible play, which is racy. In more ways than one. Actually, it's not racy at all. It's very defensive, but it kills the right-hand side of the board, which is very, very much the right thing to do. The only scoring threat, really, from Elie now will be a 9-letter word through one of the pairs of floaters out of Beavery. Had Austin wanted to just keep scoring, he had Petea, Pitaya, through the T of rootlets. And Austin, Austin has anti-type through the Y of racy. Elie's not going to block that. Elie is probably going to play fax through the A of racy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it now. We have our finalist in the form of Austin Shin. Very well deserved on the showing from this game. I think Austin has played solidly, and Elie has made some significant mistakes. I mean, Rokiest absolutely was a game-costing move. Something you shouldn't be missing at this level. But I'm sure Elie will be kicking himself afterwards. I believe, as horrible as it sounds, that patienteur is a word. So unfortunately the RE on the top left isn't quite in the right place. Oh, Austin also has pittance. I wasn't looking at the C. So Austin has, having been defended against bonuses, ironically he's given himself 2 bonuses on different sides of the board. So let me go back to what I said just now. I'm going to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our first final finalist for the National Scrabble Championship 2018. It's been a tough run for him today. Everything was going his way yesterday, but losing 3 out of his opening 4 games today, the wheels had come off the the Austin Fun Bus. But he very much seems to be back on track now. Will the dream stay alive? Will he be the second person to successfully defend his national championship title this year? After Mark Nyman way back in the early 2000s. Elie must be thinking, I've got a vague chance, I'm 45 behind, as long as oh dear. Elie's rack. Lots of vowels. I think all he has to do is score something. Austin has soured. Sorry, that's a word. He hasn't got less happy. I'm just trying to see another out for him. It won't really matter. I think spread is relatively academic at this point. If soured is blocked, he can score heavily with plays such as Deco, the side of Fax. Highest score available for Elie is something quite mundane like hinge through the G of gay. It's probably making sure that he's not missing anything, but Elie would need to score 97 here in order to draw. Okay, in the other game, Ed has played a 9-timer for 203 against Jamie Jones, and very comfortably ahead, with the bag being virtually empty. So the final game of the 2018 UK National Scrabble Championships will be between Shin, the 2017 national champion, and Ed Martin, one that's from these shores, now hailing from IKEA. And incidentally, a great outplay there by Austin. I was distracted, much better than soured. Very well played, and a worthy winner of this game. Who will win the final? Tune in just a few minutes' time, and we will find out.